Namaste, angels. I'm here to do the daily reading for Tuesday, March 28th, which is the head of the month for the head of months, with Nisan being the head of months. Nisan, which is spelled Nisan or Nissan, like the car, both are correct, is the official first month, according to God, to Moses and Aaron of the Jewish year, although it is instead celebrated on the seventh month. Commonly, that's when Rosh Hashanah is, the seventh month of the year. Okay, so with Tuesday the 28th being the first day, that's why it's the head of the month for the head of months. I'm going to start by going to www.shabbat.org and a couple of the laws and customs before I go to the day's events, because some of you guys may want to do some of these, Rosh Chodesh observances. Today is Rosh Chodesh, the head of the month for the month of Nisan. Special portions are added to the daily prayers. Hallel, spelled Hallel, or Psalms 113 through 118, is recited in its partial form. That follows the morning prayer, and an additional prayer is added to the grace after meals. The additional Musaf, Musaf prayer is said when Rosh Chodesh is Shabbat. Okay, but Rosh Chodesh for us is not Shabbat because Shabbat means Sabbath, and the Sabbath was on Friday after sundown. But they go on to talk about other special additions that are made if it happens to fall on the Sabbath, having to do with the confession of sins and things like that. Many have the custom also to mark Rosh Chodesh with the festive meal and reduced work activity. The latter custom, the reduced work activity, is prevalent mostly amongst women who have a special affinity with Rosh Chodesh, with this month being the month of the feminine aspect of the Jewish calendar. Now, it doesn't say, but I have a feeling that is because of Mariam. Not Mariam, mother of Jesus, but Mariam, Moses' sister, who actually dies during this month. And I'll talk about her on another day. Another custom is the blessing on blooming trees. A special mitzvah, which can be fulfilled only once per year, is to recite the blessing or prayer made upon seeing a fruit tree in bloom. Blessed are you, God, our God, King of the universe, who left nothing lacking in his world, and created within it good creatures and good trees, with which he gives pleasure to people. Today is the first opportunity to make this blessing, but it can be done any time during the month of Nisan, which is referred to by the Torah as the month of spring. Many visit botanical gardens during this time so as to avail themselves to an opportunity to observe this beautiful mitzvah or, celebration. Nazi of the day, Nasi. Beginning today and continuing throughout until Nisan 13, we recite the verses from Numbers chapter 7, describing the offerings made by the princes of the 12 tribes of Israel. So you guys may want to pay particular attention to this, because this is you, if you're among the Illumined. Today we read of the gift bought by Nachshon ben Amadav. I'm going to spell that for you. Nachshon, Ben, Ben, Aminadav, Aminadav, the Nazi of the tribe of Judah. On this date, okay, this is when we read his. Tomorrow, we read Issachar's gift, and so on for the 12 tribes, so for each brother. On the 13th of Nisan, we read God's instructions to Aaron regarding the kindling of the menorah, which represents the participation of the priestly tribe of Levi. And here's where it gets really interesting, where you guys may want to participate. Following the verses of the day's Nazi, we recite a short prayer in which we say, if I, your servant, am from the tribe of, and blank, so whatever tribe you're praying about on that day. You insert it there. Whose section of the Nazi I have read today in your Torah. May all the holy sparks and holy illuminations that are included within the holiness of this tribe shine upon me to grant me understanding and intelligence in your Torah and my awe to you, to do your will all the days of my life. So basically it's saying, since we don't know who we are, in many cases, we don't know what tribe, from which tribe we're from, going back to this time, and for those of us of color, African Americans and other people of color throughout the world, we don't know what tribe we're from in this life, from what tribe our ancestors are from in Africa. So it's the same type of idea. But it gives us an opportunity to say, if this is my tribe, please bestow what's due to a prince of this tribe. That is me. And you're bound to, if you're among the Illumined, you're bound to come upon your tribe because it's done for each of the tribes. So now I'll go to the day's events. March 28th from onthisday.com. Significant events. In the year 364, or 13, or 4, or 1111, Roman Emperor Valentinian I appoints his brother Flavius Valens as co-emperor. 845, Paris is sacked by Viking raiders, probably under Rangar Lodbrok, who collects a huge ransom in exchange for leaving. So this guy Ragnar, Ragnar Lodbrok, Lodbrok, is believed to have led the Vikings into Paris to take over, and they had to pay him and his group to leave. 1854, or 99. Britain and France declare war on Russia. It is the Crimean War. 1939, or 13, or 4, or 1111. Spanish Civil War ends. Madrid falls to Francisco Franco. 1946, or 11, the Cold War. The United States State Department releases the Akashan Lilienthal report outlining a plan for the international control of nuclear power. Did you know Turkish cities, Constantinople and Angora, like the sweater, changed their names to Istanbul and Ankara, Ankara, on March 28th in the year 1931, or 4, or 1111. Famous birthdays: Maxim Gorky, Rick Barry, Vince Vaughn, Julia Stiles, and Lady Gaga, who I did not know was only 30, but she totally looks it in this picture. I can't say that I've thought that previously. Famous weddings: 1837, German composer Felix Mendelssohn, who was 27, marries Cecile Ginenraud, who was 20. 1870, or 88, Impressionist painter Claude Monet, who was 29, or 11, weds model Camille Dancieux in Paris. 1920, actor Douglas Fairbanks marries Mary Pickford. 1948, or 49, or 13, or 4, or 1111, Nat King Cole, who was 29, or 11, weds jazz singer Maria Hawkins, who was 25, at Abyssinian Baptist Church in Harlem, New York. 1957, or 58, or 13, or 4, or 1111, jazz musician Billie Holiday, who was 41, weds mafia enforcer Louis McKay. Famous divorces: 1849, or 13, or 4, or 1111. Dutch Princess Marianne and Prince Albert of Prussia separate. Famous deaths: Ivan the Terrible, Marquis de Condorcet, Virginia Woolf, Jim Thorpe, and W.C. Handy, and Dwight D. Eisenhower. Dwight D. Eisenhower was American. He was the 34th U.S. president and a World War II general. He was a Republican and had previously been the first Supreme Allied Commander of Europe. His presidential term went from January 20th in 1953 through January 20th in 1961. He's preceded by Harry Truman and succeeded by John F. Kennedy. He's famous because he was the 34th President of the United States from 1953 until 1961, and he was also a five-star general in the United States Army during World War II. His two terms were peaceful ones for the most part and saw considerable economic prosperity. As such, he is consistently ranked as, or by scholars, as one of the greatest U.S. presidents. He was born on October 14th in 1890, or 9-9, and was a Libra from Denison, Texas, USA. He died on March 28th in 1969 at the age of 78 of congestive heart failure. W.C. Handy was American and a musician, the father of blues. He's one of the most influential American songwriters and is known as the father of blues. While he did not create the blues genre, he took it from regional music style like Delta blues with a limited audience to one of the dominant national forces in American music. He was born on November 16th in the year 1873 and was a Scorpio from Florence, Alabama, USA. He died on March 28th in 1958 at the age of 84 of bronchial pneumonia. Jim Thorpe was American, and he was a versatile athlete. That's his profession. Why is he famous? He was of Native American and European ancestry. So they're mentioning this, although they're calling him American. They didn't mention that the other guy was black, the father of blues. I don't understand what's happening. But anyway, this guy is Native American and European, according to this. And he's considered one of the most versatile athletes of the 20th century. He won gold at the 1912 or 1304 or 1111 Pentheon and Decathlon before being stripped of his medals for receiving payment as a professional. These medals were reinstated in 1983. He went on to play professional baseball, including for the New York Giants, football, and basketball. Okay, that doesn't make sense. He went on to play professional baseball, including for the New York Giants. The New York Giants are a football team, not a baseball team. And then it says football and basketball. So I don't know who he played baseball for or who he played basketball for. I guess it's not important. He was born on May 28th in the year 1888 and was a Gemini from Prague, Oklahoma, USA. He died on March 28th in the year 1953 at the age of 64 of heart failure. Virginia Woolf was English and an author. She was a significant figure in London literary society and a central figure in the influential Bloomsbury group of intellectuals, one of the foremost modernists of the 20th century. Excuse me. She was born on January 25th in 1882 and was an Aquarius from London, England. She died on March 28th in 1941 at the age of 59 of suicide. Marquis de Condorcet, Condorcet, or Condorcet, was French, and he was an Enlightenment philosopher. Wow. He's known for Condorcet method of election. He was born on September 17th in 1743 and was a Virgo from Ribemont, France. He died on March 28th in 1794 at the age of 50. He was murdered. Lastly, of the deaths, Ivan the Terrible. He was Russian, and he was a Russian Tsar. He was the Grand Prince of Moscow from 1533 or 66 to 1547, and the Tsar of all Russias from 1547 until his death. His long reign saw the conquest of the Khanates, Khanates, of Kazan, Kazan, the Astrakhan, Astrakhan, and Siberia, transforming Russia into a multi-ethnic and multi-confessional state spanning almost 1,000 million acres. Yes, 1,000 million acres, approximately 4,046,856 kilometers squared. He managed countless changes in the progression of a medieval state to an empire and emerging regional power, and became the first ruler to be crowned as Tsar to all Russians. He was born on August 25th in the year 1530 and was a Virgo from Kolomenskoye, Russia. He died on March 28th in 1584 at the age of 53 of a stroke. Going up to the birthdays, I think we get to begin with Gaga. Yep, Lady Gaga. Stephanie Joanne Angelina Germanata is American and a singer-songwriter. She rose to prominence with her debut album, The Fame, in 2008, a critical and commercial success. Best known for her flamboyant and diverse contributions to the music industry via her fashion, live performances, and music videos. She is one of the best-selling musicians of all time, with global album and single sales of 27 million and 125 million. She was born on March 28th in 1986 and is 30 years old, an Aries from New York City, New York, USA. She looks like a little girl here in this picture. Julia Stiles is American, an actress. She's famous for 10 Things I Hate About You and The Bourne Ultimatum. She was born on March 28th in 1981. What about Save the Last Dance? Isn't she like famous for that? I think so. She's 35 years old in any case, and an Aries from New York City, New York, USA. I think that's the first place from which I remember her. Save the Last Dance. Vince Vaughn is American, an actor. He's best known for comedy films such as Old School, Wedding Crashers, and Couples Retreat. He was born on March 28th in 1970 and is 46 years old, an Aries from Minneapolis, Minnesota, USA. Rick Barry is American as well, an NBA small forward. He's famous because NBA observers consider him to be one of the greatest small forwards of all time as a result of his uncanny ability to score, acute court vision, knowledge and execution of team defense principles, and his tenacious and oftentimes demanding will to win. He won the NBA championship in 1975 or 76 or 13 or 11-11 with the Golden State Warriors. They played today, I think, because I meant to watch. Anyway, he was born on March 28th in 1944 and is 72 years old, an Aries from Elizabeth, New Jersey, USA. Maxim Gorky, Russian, a playwright and author, famous for essays and stories. The Lower Depths. I guess those are two books. He was born on March 28th in 1868 and is an Aries from Nizhny Novgorod, Russia. He died on June 18th, which is 9, in 1936, which is 9-9, at the age of 68. And he was the last. The dice, beginning with 29. Ooh. Sex. And no. Always glad when I pick it up in that order, because I had no idea that it said both sex, and I would hate to pick up no sex. That's just wrong. Spirit says, forget it. So whatever you were like being the 8 of air or 9 of air about, I'll let it go. Instead, party. That's better for your health. And dirty movie. All right, so going to the cards, beginning with 0, the dreamer, an Archangel Metatron. So a brand new path. This is also Mercury coming through, reminding us that it is the second day of Mercury in its shadow. And I think Mercury was doing some other stuff in the sky this week too that I went over during the weekly general reading. A leap of faith. Follow your dreams. That leads to unexpected opportunities. Opening 2, nice, the Ace of Earth, the inflow of abundance, a promising business venture, important documents or contracts. Dreamer back. Opening to the Knight of Air, who's intelligent, decisive, idealistic, and tireless, but can also be reckless and chaotic and confusing, so be careful with the Knight of Air. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options so you can come up with creative solutions. Dreamer back. Now to the 3 of Earth, one of our favorites, right? The power of creativity, recognition for very high quality work. Be a team player. So, as usual, that means the boss having an eye on you for good reason, positive reason, wanting to give you some sort of promotion or something, and or a party of 3 of some sort, not necessarily romantic. And lastly, opening to the Lovers and Archangel Raphael. Intimate relationships. Carefully weigh your options. Good health. So now we have the Lovers, which represents the sign of Gemini, or can be other air sign, opposite the Dreamer and Archangel Metatron, which again for me represents the planet Mercury, and we have Gemini ruled by Mercury. So yeah, maybe something going on with Mercury, especially having seen that Knight of Air, who I said again, it can be reckless, so be careful with him. And coming to the Moon in Archangel Haniel, important psychic insights, events behind the scenes, release fears that hold you back. And I think we had this like for the day before or something. I'm not sure. The 9 of Fire is the overall energy. Don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage and believe in yourself. No, the day before was the Lovers. Maybe for the weekly, this was the overall. I remember seeing it recently as an overall energy. Excuse me. So I know I sound horrible. I'm so thankful that my throat or nothing doesn't hurt. It's just, it is what it is. Speaking of the 8 of Air, the masculine is the 8 of Air today. An illusion of being trapped, a lack of self-confidence, and being afraid to take action. Just be mindful that it could very well, only be that Mercury energy, that Knight of Air energy that's causing you to feel this way. And, if you feel it coming on, just, try to shake it off. Instead, go within, do some soul searching, maybe get outside into nature if the area you are in is conducive to that on this day. Because the Hermit is a Virgo. So they're grounded, they're earthly, and they would get out into nature and maybe sit on a park bench or on the grass or something, or walk their dog, or go for a jog and, play with some headphones or something, and go within for a little while. Spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, self-discovery. Surrounded by that 10 of Fire that was here at the heart for the Monday reading. It's moved here to the masculine. Too much work. Accept help from others. Life is out of balance. That leads to stress-related health concerns. Feminine, very nice. The 10 of Earth, a very happy family life. Financial security and finding magic in the little things in life. This is being appreciative just for even being here. But things are going well as well, in addition to that. Surrounded by, see, they're going well. The Queen of Earth, who is thoughtful, creative, warm, and sensible. Make time for those around you. Take a sensible approach. Deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. Like the Hermit, the Queen of Earth is a Virgo, or a Taurus, maybe, or a Capricorn. Somebody taking on that energy, the energy of someone thoughtful, creative, warm, and sensible. Very nice. In the feminine subconscious, it's the King of Fire, who's motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision. Take advice from someone creative and be a leader. I was just noted, I paused because I was drawn to the fact that we have, the earth opposite the earth and the fire opposite the fire. But here, thankfully, the feminine is not dealing with the same air that the masculine is. I wish he weren't either. The King of Fire is a Leo or probably an Aries, right? That the Aries new moon energy coming through, or a Sagittarius. Crowning, very nice. The Knight of Earth, who is loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind. Time to buckle down and get things done. I think that was here for the masculine the day before. Honor your commitments. You've got an angel. More fire at the bottom. It is the Three of Fire. Abundance. Things look very good. Have patience at this time and make long-term plans. Can actually be about abundance, and that's why it's an end of a difficult situation where you're feeling burdened, you're feeling overwhelmed, because finally some opportunities have, presented themselves in your life. Maybe you've created some opportunities for yourself as the Hermit. In addition to that, the Knight of Earth brings you some. And so it can be where now I can, put some of these things down, some of these worries down, these woes down, because I'm going to be having, the finances that I need to get through whatever it is that was bothering me and worrying me and making me feel like I can't move forward. At the heart of the matter, the Eight of Earth, see? Skilled work is rewarded. Learning all there is to know about a topic and going back to school. So you have your 8 opposite your 8. I'm going to let this 8 negate this one. I think you guys should too. No worries, masculine. There's look at all this earth here. Okay, and then all of this fire here. So you've been doing the work. That 3 that came through earlier was an indication that, it's being recognized, whether it's by your 3D boss here and or, our shared boss above. You're being recognized, and you're finally going to get what's coming to you by way of finances to sort of ease your burdens and allow you to put this feeling of being burdened and or burdensome upon somebody else down. Like you can handle your own business now. You can pay your own bills. You don't need help from nobody. You don't need to try to, stay with somebody, whether it's a mate or a roommate or whatever. You don't have to stay there anymore in that situation just to, be able to get by. Like you have options now. For others, sure, it's a party of 3, but even that coming to an end, the divine masculine of the tarot sitting here underneath the feminine. So knowing that this was becoming stressful, I'm doing too much. I got these, at least 2 women or men or a combination of that or whatever one is into. I got these 2 people. It's overwhelming me now. I got to put one of these down, and it's going to be the one that doesn't fit. Okay, I want my 2 of Wands. I'm going to put this other one that's extra, that's not symmetric to these 2 down when I put down these other 10. And I'm going to take my rightful place here, perhaps under the feminine, literally. It depends what you're into, again. I'll take my rightful place with the feminine as the, King of Fire. I probably should have put that here. The next card is upside down. Yeah, so for most, the worry is about money and material, and it's coming masculine and feminine. I mean, it's more evident here. It's coming for the feminine. Masculine, you should be reassured as well. Excuse me. Going to the romance deck, beginning with playfulness to recapture romance. Allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. You can do that very easily as a Sagittarius or a Gemini, taking on that kind of energy. Very silly. Opening 2, you deserve love. You are lovable. Playfulness back. To let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. Playfulness back. I'll go one more very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Playfulness back. I'm going to cut. Yeah, so we're encouraged to make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. So, neither one of us can just sit around not moving. And masculine, it looks like you're most afraid to move. And again, I believe that for the most of you, that has something to do with, a monetary situation. You really wanting to, come off the king or, the prince of one of the 12 tribes. You want to look like what you are. So I get it. But yeah, any fear that we hold on to holds us back. So just let that go. Acknowledge that if you believe in the universe and higher power, a creator, all that kind of stuff, then you believe that they said they were going to take care of this. And so, remind yourself of that. I'm letting go of this. I'm putting these 10 wands down, and I'm going to, wait for the blessing that you promised me, because you always keep your word. You're not the liar. So if you said that I'm going to have it, you showed me further evidence of that with the reading that I'm going to have it. I'm going to have it. I have it now. Amen. Overall energy from this deck is deception. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. And lastly, from my Ascended Masters deck, beginning with Horus, you are seeing this situation accurately. And opening 2, write with thought. This can be a means of meditation for you too. Some people find writing therapeutic. If you are one of those, do some. Thought says so. He suggests you do. Horus is back. And opening 2, energy healing with Merlin, which is what you appear to need most, masculine. Merlin back. I'll go one more. It's teacher. So yeah, I think the experience, we've been here before. You've had this experience before. So you know what this is. You know how to deal with it. Deal with it. Handle it as simply as we just, discussed. It can be handled. Clear your block and allow for the flow. Yep. That's all you got to do. Buddha says meditate. So he co-signs. Overall energy is priorities with King Solomon. So yeah, for those of you masculine who are afraid basically to pursue the relationship, your guidance from the romance angels is first to remind you that you are not trapped. This is a false prison that you've created for yourself. you can immediately free yourself, and you should, in fact, pursue your relationship, give it a chance, work on your partnership. And to that, Ascended Master Lu says to be persistent in it. Atop the Three of Fire and the Ace of Earth, which is this new beginning. For some of you, it involves children. Your love life is being affected by children, but obviously in a positive way. This is a divine new beginning, here in the middle. So I think it's good for everybody, whatever it is. And I guess where there are other situations, perhaps different types of parties of three, the Ascended Masters say, see the other person's point of view. And, know that you guys can work through this. That this is like, the finish line, basically. But that may be where this deception comes in, why this is our overall energy. In other cases, it's much more simple. It's just the masculine wearing the false self mask as like he's not as powerful as he is. He's disguised as somebody that's a weaker being. He needs to pull that off and be the king of fire. Masculine, your advice is just that. Take the leap of faith. Just jump in. Believe. Okay, you're a follower of, the truth teller, not the liar. Right? Your father tells the truth. So believe what he's told you and take the jump. Follow your dreams, because that's going to lead you to unexpected opportunities. Feminine, the wheel with Archangel Michael, a time of positive change. A situation suddenly moves forward. So we may have been stuck too, maybe in this finance thing finally picking up for us. Fortune is on your side, even where it has something to do with this. Again, this is everything is moving in a positive direction now. The wheel represents the planet Jupiter, which is the planet of luck. Luck and karma, but we have Archangel Michael here telling us that fortune is on our side, so we know it's in our favor. It's not a negative thing. Masculine, your advice from the Ascended Masters: mother, wife, sister, daughter. You have a relationship with a feminine energy in your life that requires healing. I think for some it may be the one with the divine feminine that you're afraid to move forward. For others, this can be yourself, your inner feminine, that maybe you need to get in touch with. And that's okay. Or it can be, your mother, your sister, your daughter. Some relationships we will heal by mending those fences, and some will heal by walking away. And which option to choose is up to you. Whatever you choose, know that fortune and favor, blessings, the divine is on your side. You're getting a divine blessed start with the Ace of Earth here. Spirit encouraging you to jump, toward your future. So it's nothing to be fearful of. Feminine from the Ascended Masters to you, let it go. So again, I think for whatever went on here, in the case where it may have been a questionable situation with a party of three, we're moving on to much better things, and just let that go. And that may be why the masculine's afraid to move in some cases. Like, I can't approach her, I can't look at her, I can't face her, So he needs to know that we're willing to shake it off. Because carrying resentment is not healthy for us either. It's more harmful to the person that does it than anyone else, actually. And very soon is back from the romance angels for the masculine. Clearly decide what you want. So it comes to you now. I told you we're nearing the finish line for this, phase. It's like upon you. You just got to take the leap. Trust and take the leap. And feminine, you deserve love, so don't close yourself off from it again. You are lovable, and very soon applies to you as well. It's coming. I hope that you guys enjoy the daily reading. Namaste, angels.